Dear learners, welcome to Andhra Pradesh Commissionerate of Collegiate Education LMS portal. I am Dr. Sechi Devi, LMS presenter, Government College for Men Autonomous Kadapa. In this video lesson, I would like to explain factors in pond construction, layout arrangement of ponds in a fish pond. Let us see the learning outcomes. By viewing the presentation, you will be able to define a fish pond, fish farm, types of ponds, and various components required for designing and construction of a fish pond. First of all, let us know the definition of a pond. Ponds are very small and shallow of quiet standing water with slight wave action and may be naturally created or man-made. We generally see naturally created ponds in our surrounding places. You can see a naturally created pond in this image. These naturally created ponds are filled with rainwater during monsoon season, and in summer the ponds dry up. The second category of ponds are man-made ponds. They are also called artificial ponds. They are constructed to serve diverse purposes like fish farming, duck rearing, ornamental cultivation of nilambo, that is lotus, or any aquatic weeds. Ponds are also constructed for the cultivation of aquatic weeds like marine algae, chlorella, sargassum, spirogyra, azolla, chlorophyta are cultivated in the ponds for their nutritional and therapeutic value. Now, what is a fish pond? The ponds used exclusively for fish culture purposes are called fish ponds. They are designed and managed scientifically. Fish farm is the site where different types of ponds are constructed for rearing various stages of the selected species on scientific lines. Aquaculture activities start with the construction of ponds till the harvest of table-sized fishes. In this slide, you can see an image that contains different types of fish ponds. So this is a fish farm. Here you can see various fish ponds. Coming to the types of ponds, an ideal fish farm should contain at least 4 different types of ponds, each for a specific purpose. Sometimes the number of ponds may be increased to 6 also. Let us see these 6 different types of ponds one by one. The first one is breeding pond. Breeding pond is also called spawning pond. This pond is constructed for the breeding of the fishes. That means in this pond, the fishes mate and release the eggs and sperms into water. The eggs are fertilized by the sperms. The fertilized egg after 12 hours hatches into the first stage larva called prolarva. This prolarva is also called hatchling. The hatchling has an yolk sac underneath. It has no mouth, so it cannot feed. It draws nourishment from the yolk sac. After 2 to 3 days, the yolk sac disappears. The hatchling now develops mouth. This hatchling stage is now called spawn. So this entire process takes place in the breeding pond, that is the first type of pond. Coming to the second pond, that is hatching pond. Hatching ponds are also called pits. They are used for putting the spawn for hatching into fry. As I have already said, the spawn has a mouth. It feeds on zooplankton and the supplementary feed which is added to the pond. After 7 days, the spawn assumes the shape of a fish. This stage is called fry. Fry is 1 to 2 centimeters in length, and this process takes place in the hatching ponds. The third category of ponds are called nursery ponds. The nursery ponds are used for keeping the fry to develop into fingerling stages. As we have already seen, fry is 1 to 2 centimeters in length. After undergoing several changes, that is after 30 to 60 days, fry grows to a size of 10 to 15 centimeters. This is called fingerling. It is equal to the size of a finger. In this slide, you can see the image here. This is a fertilized egg of a fish which undergoes development. After 12 hours, it changes into a prolarva or hatchling. This prolarva has yolk sac underneath. It has no mouth. It obtains nourishment from the yolk sac here. Gradually, it changes into the next stage, that is spawn. In the spawn, there is no yolk sac. Gradually, the yolk sac disappears here and the mouth develops. This stage, that is C here, it is called spawn. Now the spawn, after 7 days, acquires the shape of a fish. This small young fish is now called fry. This fry is 1 to 2 centimeters in length. After several changes, that is after 30 to 60 days, it grows into the next stage, that is fingerling. This is fingerling here. You can see the image of a fingerling. The fingerling is 10 to 15 centimeters in length, or it is equal to the size of a finger. This stage is called fingerling. This fingerling gradually develops into the adult fish. So these are the different stages of the fish. The fourth type of ponds are rearing ponds. These ponds are used for transferring the fingerling to develop into adult fish. When fishes are able to reproduce, they are considered as adult fish. The time of maturity varies from species to species. The fifth type of ponds are stocking ponds. Stocking ponds are also called grow-out ponds. These are used for keeping the adult-sized fishes. That means the fishes which are grown out or which are breeder fishes now. So these breeder fishes are stocked in the stocking pond. The last type of ponds are marketing ponds. Marketing ponds are used for keeping the marketable size fishes until they are transported to market. After 1 year, the fishes attain the size of 1 to 1.5 kg, and these fishes are called marketable fishes. They are harvested by using the gill nets. Coming to the next component, that is site selection criteria for fish farm. One of the most important aspects of the planning of fish farm is the selection of the site for fish ponds. If the site of the ponds is well chosen, the pond can be more productive than the land itself. When considering a site for the fish ponds, following aspects have to be considered. They are availability of land in a continuous suitable shaped plot of optimum size with all facilities. The site should have assured water supply of adequate quality, either surface or groundwater. Soil and water of the site must be suitable for fish culture. The site should be free from floods. The site should have good transport facilities and approach roads. The site should have electrical and telephone connections. The fish seed should be available easily and in plenty in that area. The site should be away from populated areas. That means the site should be away from towns and cities. The site should be connected to a drainage system and it should be away from polluted areas. The fishermen or labor should be available near the site. So these are the various aspects one should consider before selecting a site for fish farm. Coming to the topography, it is used to describe the shape of the land, whether it is flat, hilly, upland or lowland. The ideal topography of a fish farm is a gently sloping terrain that can be drained easily. Shaped area with highlands on the 3 sides and with a narrow outlet on the 4th side is preferable. The ponds should generally be flat with a gently sloping towards the outlet. Coming to the soil type, the soil of the pond must be able to hold water. The best soil for a pond is one that contains lot of clay or clay mixed with silt. Clay soils hold water well. Porous and peaty soil must be avoided as they do not retain water. Rocky and sandy soil as well as limestone areas are to be avoided. Soil rich in minerals like iron, magnesium, lime, etc. is highly favored as the minerals are useful for a quick growth of the fish. Soil must be slightly alkaline with a pH of 7 to 9. The next component is water supply. The availability of adequate water supply is an important requisite for site selection. The dependable water supply sources are lake or reservoirs, springs, rivers, streams, canals, surface runoff, wells and tube wells. Big tanks, reservoirs and lakes are the best sources of water. Dams provide the cheapest and canals are also satisfactory source, provided the flow is enough to fill the ponds. The source of water should be free from all pollution. Coming to the number, shape and size of ponds. The number of ponds depend on the possible site. The site should have a place for nursery, rearing and stocking ponds. The size depends on the topography, water supply and requirement. Rearing ponds are usually bigger than the nursery ponds, and stocking ponds are the largest in the farm. More smaller ponds are better than few larger ponds, as the larger ponds are difficult to manage. The width of the ponds should not exceed 40 meters, so that limited number of fishermen are required to harvest the fish. Rectangular ponds are easy to operate. Depth of the ponds depend on the number of fishes being grown. The bottom of the pond should have a slope towards the outlet. Pond should have controlled inlets and outlets so that these can be drained and filled easily. The next factor is survey. Before constructing, the land is surveyed to find out as to which side of the land has the slope. The next key component is designing. While designing the fish farm, it should be decided as to where and how many nursery, rearing and stocking ponds are to be constructed. In case of fish farm constructed solely for the purpose of seed production, only nursery and rearing ponds may be constructed with a nominal area for the stocking pond for stocking the breeders. Pond bottom should be flat and sloping towards the outlet or drainage gate with a gentle gradient. Keep a gentle slope of the pond bottom of about 0.5% to 1% from the water inlet to water outlet. So that means the bottom should have a slope towards the outlet. The canals or ditches should be 0.25 to 0.5 meters into 0.25 to 0.5 meters. Construction time. If the construction is completed in the summer, the pond can be used for cultivation immediately. So that means summer is the suitable time for construction of a fish pond. Preparation of the site. All the bushes and small plants should be removed before the construction to avoid leakage problems. If there are any trees near construction site, branches towards the site are cut so that the sunlight is not blocked and the leaves do not fall in the water. The next factor is mark out the ponds. After cleaning the site, the outlines of dike or main wall and other walls are marked with stakes. That means the site is marked with wooden pegs and strings, and then all the vegetation is removed from the site. Here in this slide, you can see an image where the farmers are cleaning the site and they have already marked the site with wooden pegs and strings. So this process is called mark out of the ponds. The next point is excavation of the pond. The excavation of the pond can be carried out either by manual labor or by bulldozers. If the bulldozer is used, final shaping should be given by manual labor. The pond bottom should have a slope of 2 to 5%. When the stakes have been established for the construction of dikes, 2% of topsoil should be removed. The pond bottom must be cleared by removing small rocks, roots and stumps so that the nets are not get torn during harvesting. The construction of the earthen dike is always economical. The dikes should be strong enough to withstand weather action. By using concrete blocks, stones or bricks, the earthen dikes will be protected more permanently from rat or crab holes. Side slopes of embankments depend upon the nature of material used for construction. When the pond walls are constructed, the excavated soil can be placed on the top and planted with grass. The grass roots help to hold the wall together and prevent the erosion of soil. So that is about the excavation of the pond. Coming to the dike. Dike or dam, also called band. Dike is constructed artificially on the fourth side of the pond. It must be strong and stable. It prevents the soil of the substratum from being washed away by the currents of water. It also helps in maintaining the level of water and keeping the water at a required depth. Dike is built of clay, sand and silt mixture in the ratio of 1:3:2. Generally, its height is maintained at 50 centimeters above the surface of water. Width and height of the dike are almost equal and its inner surface should be slopy. In this image, we can see the dike here. This wall that is towards the fourth side, this wall is called a dike. This dike should be strong to withstand the wave action. The next key component is freeboard. Extra space provided between maximum water level in the pond and crest level of embankment is called freeboard. The freeboard is generally kept at 0.25 meters to 1 meter. Observe the given image here. This is a dike here and you can see the pond water. This space from the maximum level of the water to the crest level of embankment. This space is called freeboard. So this is the maximum water level of the pond and this is crest level of the embankment. And this gap is called freeboard. This freeboard should be 0.25 to 1 meters. The next important factor is drainage system. A drainage system is used to empty the pond. A central canal with lateral branches is constructed at the bottom of the pond, each with a depth of 30 to 40 centimeters as shown in the given figure. As the bottom of the pond is slopy, the drainage system is also slopy, hence facilitates easy exit of water through the canals. So see the image of the drainage system here. This is the water inlet source and this is the bottom of the pond. This bottom of the pond has the drainage system. This is the main canal with lateral branches. This entire canal system is called drainage system and these canals are 30 to 40 centimeters depth. Through these canals the water goes out and finally the water exits through this drain pipe. The bottom of the pond is slopy, so the drainage system is also slopy so that the water can come out easily. The next key component is sluice. Sluice is the integrated part of the dam and is almost located at the center. The two walls on either side of the sluice are opposite to each other. So see the image of the sluice here. The two walls, the image shows the two walls of the sluice. This is one wall and another wall here. The two are opposite to each other. Middle of the sluice has a pair of grooves. So there are two grooves you can see here. This is one groove and another groove. There are two grooves in the sluice. These grooves are fitted with wooden planks or iron plates. These wooden planks or iron plates are fitted one behind the other. Space between the wooden planks is filled with mud or clay or sand. When the pond is to be evacuated, it can be done by lifting the wooden boards to the required height. Sluice is mainly used for the evacuation of the pond. The next important factor is monk. Monk is the water exit point situated at the deepest point of the pond towards inner side of the dike. This has a pair of lateral walls and a wall parallel to the dike arranged in the form of a U as shown in the figure. The walls of the monk are constructed over a strong concrete foundation to a height extending to about 40 centimeters above the water surface. The two lateral walls of the monk have three grooves. The first groove towards the pond has a sieve-like screen. So this is the dike here. Towards the inner side, the monk is constructed. The monk has three grooves. This is one groove here, and this is second groove, and this is the third groove here. So again see here, this is the dike, and towards the inner side the monk is constructed with three grooves. This is the first groove, and this is second groove, and this is the third groove. The first groove is towards the pond. It has a sieve-like screen. So it is towards the pond and it has a sieve-like screen. The other two grooves are facing the dike, are fitted with iron planks touching the base of the monk. So this is the base of the monk which is constructed with a strong concrete, and these two grooves are constructed touching the concrete base. Hence water cannot escape out through these plates. When the pond is to be evacuated, the iron plates are to be lifted up. So these iron plates are raised up so that the water passes through the sieve and then it goes into the drain pipe. The space between the plates help in resisting the water pressure. There is a cement pipe of 40 centimeters diameter at the base of the wall parallel to the dike. So parallel to the dike there is a cement pipe here which is about 40 centimeters in diameter. This pipe is called a drain pipe. This opens out through the base of the dike into a valley. Water can be pumped into the pond through the mark, and water level can be maintained by lifting the plates of the mark with a suitable height. So this is a mark here which is present towards the inner side of the dike, which has 3 grooves. The first groove is towards the pond, and this groove is like a screen, and this is the second and third grooves, which are fitted with wooden gates or iron planks, and these planks are raised up for the evacuation of the water. Now the water comes out of the mark and enters into a drain pipe here, and finally it goes out. So that is about the mark operation. This mark is used to maintain the water level in the pond. The last component of the pond is water inlet. Inlet pipes can be arranged into the pond in such a way that continuous water flow is maintained. The inlet opening is fitted with a coarse cloth or mesh, which prevents the entry of predator weed fishes into the pond. Let us recap. Fish farm is the site where different types of ponds are constructed for rearing various stages of fishes. The ponds which are constructed for culturing the fishes are called fish ponds. They are designed and managed scientifically. Generally, there are 4 different types of ponds. Sometimes the number may increase to 6 also. Before constructing a fish farm, one should consider different factors like the suitable site with a gently sloping terrain, adequate water supply, and clayey soil. Summer is the suitable time of construction for a fish farm. After survey and designing, the site is cleaned and the outlines are marked. A strong dike is constructed on the 4th side of the pond. Freeboard is generally kept at 0.25 to 1 meters. Mark is used to maintain the water level in a pond, whereas sluice is used to evacuate the pond. Bottom of the pond as well as drainage system must be slopy for the easy exit of the water through the canals. Water inlet pipe is fitted with a coarse cloth or a mesh to prevent the entry of predator weed fishes into the pond. That's all about the topic. I hope you enjoyed the video lesson. Thank you for watching.